Hello everybody, it's Josie here. So today I'm going to do another one of my charity shop or second-hand hauls. So I'm going to actually call this more of a second-hand haul because not everything is necessarily from a charity shop this time, but a good proportion are. So I just wanted to kind of start off this haul by saying that I know there's been a lot of talk at the moment on YouTube about hauls and consumerism and kind of consumerism in the booktube world, but also in just general, and that we seem to buy a lot of things, obviously books specifically. So I do like to buy secondhand. I do buy new books, absolutely, and I do have some new books and I'll probably do a bit of a new book haul, but in general, I love buying secondhand. I love supporting local charities. I buy secondhand on Amazon as well. I just think it's a good way to recycle, because yeah, there's a lot of crap on this planet, and I don't necessarily want to keep buying new, whether it's clothes, whether it's books, whatever it is, furniture, when we already have so much and we can just sort of recycle what we have. So even though I do buy a lot of books, I have a lot of books, I love books, I don't necessarily buy all of these, new. Actually, I don't buy most of them new. So anyway, so I just kind of wanted to say that. And, in the comments, tell me what you think about it, if you have any strong opinions on kind of consumerism and books and where you get your books from as well. So anyway, I haven't prepared too much for these, so I'll tell you what they're about as best as I can. So the first one I've got here is Black Hat Susans. And this, as far as I know, is a thriller about a girl who survives a serial killer, and she testifies at his trial. Her testimony puts him away, because I think she's the only one that survived. And then years later, we're not sure whether or not he's guilty. So that sounds really, really good, and I've heard some good things about this one. Then the next one that I've been dying to read, I don't know why it's taken so long, is Moxie. So this is just proper feminist riot girl. Girls at school, they get together. I think their dress code is sexist. Their school is generally sexist, and they kind of form a bit of a riot girl feminist club, as far as I know. And I think the school tries to shut them down. And it's just girl power, wonderfulness. I adore this cover. It's just awesome. So I cannot wait to read that one. Then the next one I've got here, this was just just randomly browsing the shelves at the charity shop, and it's this, it's called Needlepoint, and what originally drew me to it was the fact that it says Diva on the back. And essentially, the reason I picked this up is it's a kind of a detective thriller story, but as far as I can glean from the back of it, the main character is a female detective who is gay, and I believe she's being distracted. It says Harley Davidson. She tears through Amsterdam on her Harley Davidson. Hello. So that's kind of all I needed to know, and then it said she's being distracted by another policewoman, so yeah, it just sounds fantastic. Then the next one is another book that I have kind of been dying to read. And it's this one here, The Last Days of Leda Grey. And this book kind of reminds me a little bit of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is one of my all-time favourite books. And it's about a silent film star from the 1920s. And it really tells her story of really what happened to her, who she was. I believe there's some secrets. Not many people know about the real story of her life. And a journalist comes in and sort of talks about it and uncovers it. So that to me is very kind of Evelyn Hugo, and it sounds amazing, and I love the 1920s and kind of that whole era. There was a lot of mystique around the actresses and the actors in that era, so this sounds really good. And the next one I've got is, God, again, another one I've been dying to read. This is Rose of No Man's Land by Michelle T. Michelle is one of my favourite authors. I've read quite a few books of hers. I might do a bit of an author spotlight on her, actually. There's a couple of other books that I want to get, but these ones are really old, so a lot of these books were published kind of in the early 90s, early 2000s as well, but they're quite difficult to get. I've just looked inside this book and I see all sorts of writing in the cover. Sorry, it's a second-hand of Amazon, but yeah, I was really happy to get my hands on a copy of this. And Michelle writes wonderful queer 90s centric fiction. I've read a couple of her books that are set sort of in San Francisco in the 1990s. I don't know if this is San Francisco as well, but it really evokes that kind of 90s, again, punk riot girl spirit, with wonderful queer ladies as well. So yeah, really excited about that one. Then the next two that I was so excited about is Jeanette Winterson. So while I bang my day call, I love Jeanette Winterson, and I recently read The Passion, and loved that. And I got a really gorgeous kind of retro, old-looking copy of The Passion. And when I was in the Oxfam store, I found this version of Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit, and it really matches the cover for The Passion as well. It's this kind of gorgeous, like retro-y, almost like an old school painting cover. And then they also had, they must have been having a day of Janet Winston, is The Daylight Gate, which is like witchy sounding, which is just right up my alley. And basically at the back it says, a mysterious gathering of 13 people is interrupted by a local magistrate. Is it a witch's sabbat? That sounds amazing. So yeah, so getting to these fairly soon. I think they're going to be good. Then this one I picked up, kind of strolling past, I think it was Oxfam as well. You know when they have those tables outside when they do like books for £1? And it's Alarm Girl. And the reason I picked this up was it's about a 14-year-old girl and about the relationship with her mother, I think. And it's, oh no, it's not the, oh no, it's, sorry. So this one, yeah, this one I picked up because, I picked up two. So this one I picked up because it was set in South Africa, which I was raised in South Africa. And you don't get that many books set in South Africa. And it is about a 14-year-old girl and her family, and just the landscape and her kind of discovering secrets and her life in South Africa, which I thought, there's a gorgeous picture on the back of the felt there. So yeah, I had to pick this up and read it. Then the next one is the same table, hence the confusion, is Like Mandarin. It is Mandarin, right? Yeah, Like Mandarin. So this one is kind of, I think this is going to be my favorite kind of trope about female friendship. So what it sounds like is that you've got these two girls who are, one, again, I think is quite a good girl kind of stereotypical scenario, and then one sort of a bad girl, and their friendship, and the good and the bad and the toxic and the wonderful, and that just is totally up my alley. And again, I might do a video on the books that I have that are kind of in that genre if you're interested, because I have quite a few of them now. So this one sounds incredible as well. Then the next one I got, this one, got We Are Okay, Nina LaCour. Love Nina LaCour. I've read Hold Still. I've read Everything Leads to You. Gorgeous book. This one sounds like it's going to be really sad. Our main character, Marin, she's kind of left her old life behind, and something really tragic has happened in her old life. And you know, Nina LaCour has a real way of tugging at your heartstrings. Hold Still made me cry. And she always writes queer fiction as well. It just sounds like it's going to be really beautiful, and it's one that I've been, dying to read and been on my to-read list for ages. Almost done. The next one I picked up is The Great Gatsby. Yes, I've read it. I love The Great Gatsby. It's probably my favourite classic to date. Well, maybe along with Frankenstein, anyway. But The Great Gatsby, adore The Great Gatsby. So found this lovely kind of version. Really love the cover, sort of Daisy on the cover there. What more can I say? It's wonderful. And then the last one, you're going to have to excuse the cover on this one because it's torn. Yeah, so there's the drawback of buying stuff secondhand. But this is called A Blood Wine. No, A Taste of Blood Wine. And it is, so Frida Warrington is one of my favourite authors. She wrote a series that I actually just had in a video called Pagan Moon and Black Cathedral. And it's about a witch series. This series is about vampires. My two favourite topics. And I just thought this sounded really good. So you've got the First World War, and then you've got 1920s, which again is an era that I really love. So I feel like it's kind of Gatsby meets vampires. We'll see how it goes. I think there's more in this series, but I just bought that one because that just sounds great. And I'm really in the mood for some kind of old school, almost Anne Rice style vampire fiction. I'm actually, at the moment, trying to find all of the Vampire Chronicles. And when I say trying to find, you can obviously buy them. I'm trying to find them secondhand if I can. So I found the Vampire Armand, actually, which I was really excited about. and I've read Interview with the Vampire, which I love, but you know, I want to read kind of all of them, that whole Chronicles, because I haven't read all of them. So I'm kind of in the mood for that. So I'm doing that at the moment. And then I saw this and I was like, wow, I'm kind of in the mood. So let's read this in the meantime until I've accumulated or I can find all of the Vampire Chronicles. More difficult than you think it would be. I may have to go on to sort of Amazon Marketplace to do it, because I think there are some secondhand copies available there. But anyway, totally digressed. But yeah, so this just sounds like it's going to be fun, like romance, vampires, 1920s. Gotta love it, right? And then the last one, one more. So the last one I've got here, it's got the price tag on, is 20th century photography. I love photography. It's my favorite art form, and I found this in a charity shop and it cost $1.99. And it's beautiful. It is it follows, obviously, as it says on the tin, the whole 20th century, different photographers, different beautiful pictures, and tells you about the photography and the pictures, and really follows the history of photography. So I was more than excited to get this at such a bargain price. And this book, I swear, it looks like it hasn't even been opened, which is a crime. But anyway, so that is the last one. Thank you again for listening to me. I will speak to you all soon, and bye-bye.